get a sight, I'm thrilled about. And I'm so excited to bring this movie. I'm so excited to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but to bring this particular character to life, what a joy. And it's going to be really exciting, not least because I haven't seen the film yet either, so I'm sitting in a world premiere with other people watching it for the first time, and it's my first time too, so I'm stoked. Yeah, he's definitely a superhero. I mean, whatever the differences are, which I'm very happy about, he's a superhero, and I'm ready to help Marvel with that new left turn, that third chapter, and this is really going to open up the cinematic universe to other dimensions, literally, and so the canvas is going to get a whole lot bigger for these incredible characters, and I can't wait to join them and have some fun playing with them as well. It's been extraordinary. We started our tour off in the beautiful Hong Kong, which is almost a character in this film. It plays such an integral part. It's a massive feature in the film, which I won't give away, but it's very cool, and boy did they give us a welcome, and it was unlike anything I've experienced, and the energy, the love, just the complete kind of noble sort of positivism about the whole thing. Very, very excited to see it, and and then we went on to Shanghai, and it was equally crazy and wonderful, and it was a beautiful experience. Both places offered us wonderful experiences with food and culture, and inviting us to enjoy a little bit of what they had to offer in the brief time we were there talking about the film. So really good memories. There's something for everyone here. It's got a great cast of many nationalities, and it is a story that it embraces a huge body of the world, and also at the same time it's about a reality that we all share. There's a sort of common universal human sort of strength to the story, but also to the purpose of this character coming into our lives. So I think it will resonate with a lot of people, and I just think people crave something new and different, and I think the visuals and the trip of this film, just the excitement viscerally of what it's going to be like watching it, is going to be something for everyone, really. We are headed to London, and then after that we're going to Berlin, and then we're going to the East Coast. We're going to New York, which is his kind of spiritual and geographical home as a character, so it'd be really nice to end it all there.
We have something new for everybody, and we're so excited. It's I don't know, it's everything you expect from Marvel and more. It's like super grown up, but it's all about the multiverse. So we're going through portals into new worlds and experiences. It's going to blow everybody's minds. I think it's going to bring in people who wouldn't necessarily have been to a Marvel film before, because it's about humans. And it's not actually about a superhero. It's about a sorcerer who learns magic, and I play the Sorcerer Supreme, who teaches magic to humans. And it's a kind of magic that we can all learn, to be honest. Doctor Strange is particularly good at it, so he kind of has special powers, but she's teaching him and everyone she's teaching about mindfulness, about having a quiet mind and being in control of oneself, and serving things greater than yourself, and looking beyond ego and fear, which is a kind of timely thing to think about.
It's really fresh. That's what I loved so much about it. It's kind of unexpected. We're dealing with magic and the occult and a different kind of fantasy. And I think Scott had a really, really fresh take on it. He was so interested in the idea of building up rather than tearing down, and both emotionally and with the, just physically with the buildings and that sort of thing. So, I was excited to take a new journey like that. It is definitely a global film. I mean, it goes beyond just planet Earth. So it's for all beings, really. It's very, and I think it's very relatable to all people. A lot of the themes about mindfulness, which I think is really a very on point topic that we've sort of come back around to since the time when they wrote the comic books. So I think it's got a little bit for everything, and it's really grown up, and yet it's really fun at the same time. So it's for all ages. Yeah,
I'm a neophyte in the cinematic Marvel universe. I was a Marvel fan as a kid, mainly the major heroes like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Daredevil a little bit. So Doctor Strange is fairly new to me. I'm somewhat aware of his origins, but in terms of an experience like this, brand new for me. This whole process for me, to the level that I was involved in it, was shrouded deeply in mystery, and so I, like most people here, have not seen it. I'm truly excited to witness the artistry of so many people that have come together to create this film tonight. I'm here with my wife, so it's kind of a special date. So yeah, I'm excited. What I'm interested in with this film is that yes, it's going to have amazing special effects and fantastic acting It's going to be visual eye candy, of course, but one thing I loved about this particular film was its kind of deeper probing of the existential questions that we all face. What is our worth? What is our value? When how we perceive ourselves is destroyed and we have to start anew, where do we begin? What journey, what spiritual journeys does that send us on? That's a fascinating thing to ponder. I think all of us kind of have a crossroads moment like that in our lives, if we're lucky anyway. And so when we follow Doctor Strange on his particular journey, and a spiritual one no less, it's probably not like one we'd experience in our own lives, but no less fun to watch, certainly.
Well, it's my first Marvel premiere, and yeah, it's incredible. I mean, it just kind of sort of mirrors the sort of magnitude of the production values as well, and yeah, it's a really exciting night. Yeah, I'm really thrilled to be here. This, I think, is a real sort of journey of this arrogant neurosurgeon who has a tragic crash and has loses ability to heal, and it's this broken man that goes and finds himself, but yet stumbles that he has this ability for the mystic arts. Well, yeah, it kind of encompasses all the world, and then I think that it's the gateway into this multiverse where we end up combating the darker forces.
It's fun when you get to, shut up Hollywood Boulevard. It makes you feel you're part of a big film. And all the fans are here, all the Marvel fans. It's just so dedicated. It's a universe, obviously, I knew about when I read the comics and I watched the film. But that the fan group is so intense, it's just fantastic. It is part of that universe, but it has a slightly different touch. It's not a man with superpowers. It's people with inner strength. And as such, it's written in the 60s. Everything was about that. And those inner strengths that he eventually finds are tremendously strong. He will definitely be up there with the best superheroes in the world.
I was a big Doctor Strange fan. As a kid, I remember finding one of these comics I used to go to these yard sales and flea markets with my mom, and you would always find old comics and old things. So in one of the bunches that I would grab was this Doctor Strange thing. I was like, what is this? I never heard of it. And I loved it, and I loved him. So when I heard about this film, I was like, I really want to do this film because I just liked the character. He was so different from all of the other characters in that universe. And it just felt like in a world where like so many things that you know so much about already are being made, this was a thing where it's like nobody knows who this guy is. I want that one. I want to work on the thing that nobody knows who he is. And it was just fun, and Benedict's great, and it's just a great opportunity to do something weird. Scott's great. We had a blast together. Scott is wonderful. He's really smart. He knows so much about filmmaking and so much about films, and I'm a real film geek myself, but I was sort of met my match when I was talking to him about things because he is deep into it. And his love for this character in particular was so apparent the first time I met him. I was like, I was just so happy that he knew the character as well as he did, and he's just been a joy to work with. Really fun kind. We had a blast.
I mean, it's surreal, We just finished the movie. I mean, this will be the first time I've watched the 3D print all the way through with sound. I was working on it until the last second, but I did get finished, and we're at the TCL Chinese Theater, the most famous theater in the world. So it's awesome. It's really fantastic. It's very different. The Doctor Strange comic, when it came along in the 60s, was a complete breath of fresh air in the Marvel comic book universe. And in the same way, we tried to make the movie a breath of fresh air in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we just like the comic did in the 60s, we're bringing a lot of weirdness, other dimensions, magic, just a lot of things that kind of break open the mold of what a Marvel movie can be. It was crazy. First of all, being with Benedict Cumberbatch in Asia is like being with Elvis, I mean, it was a lot of screaming girls, but it was fantastic. They're real Marvel fans over there, and they really were excited, and I think we're very appreciative that we were there, and the movie's opening in China, which is a privilege and an honor, and it's awesome. It's all really great.
We've made 14 now of our films within our cinematic universe, and it did feel like it was time to take a turn to do something a little different, to go into other dimensions and the multiverse, as we call it. And Doctor Strange was right there in the early 60s. Stan Lee, who just walked by, co-created him with Steve Ditko, an amazing artist. And he was sort of there amongst the Avengers for so long, for decades, and we felt finally it was time to introduce him to the world, take audiences on a very wild ride with him, and then now we've established him in the universe, and we'll see him going forward in the next films. We met first time with Scott Derrickson almost 2 years ago. No, what am I saying? Even longer than that, 3 or 4 years ago. And he really came in with a vision about taking these Steve Ditko panels from the comics, now 50 years old, and saying, these are still progressive images. These are still mind-bending images. How can we bring them to life on the big screen? And that's what he's now just completed after years and years, working with our visual effects supervisor, Steph Soretti, Industrial Light and Magic, some of the best visual effect vendors around, and bring it to life. And I'm really excited for audiences to finally see what we have in store.
I think the story of Doctor Strange and the journey it goes on is totally universal. It's something that we can apply to all our lives, like all great Marvel characters. It's a story that translates across cultures, across walks of life, and there's a real message, I think, at the core of this movie that when we've shown the movie to early audiences as we're shaping the movie in editorial, they've really responded to. They say they like the effects, they say they like the action, they say they like all those things that you get when you have a Marvel movie, but they've also said, I like the philosophy of this movie, and I like what you can learn from it, what the takeaways are, what the morale is, and that's universal. That has worldwide appeal. From our earliest meetings with Scott Derrickson, he came in and threw the gauntlet down and said, we have to do things that no one has ever seen before. We have to push the limits of what an action scene can be, of what a Marvel movie can be, what a movie about magic can be. And we sort of pointed to a place on the horizon and said, we want to do something like that. And we weren't quite sure how we were going to get there. We had to build a lot of vehicles and cross a lot of miles and go the wrong way and come back the right way, to figure out exactly how to achieve some of these incredibly complex and unique action sequences and visual dynamism in the film. And that was absolutely under Scott's leadership. And Scott calling his hit and saying, we're going there, we're doing this.